We have 2 games left in the regular season before our blood pressure can start spiking and rising again to unsafe levels. Today, I welcome an old friend to the show. We're going to talk about the season that was, the regular season, and the playoffs coming up on this edition of All Dodgers. It needs more bass. Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful, what I was going to say South Pasadena for old times. In beautiful Puente, California, this is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Bleav Network, brought to you by FanDuel. And listen, we're not going to bury the lead here. Today I'm joined by my buddy, my pal. You know him, the legendary Douglas McKain. Douglas Jennifer McKain. Actually, I forgot what your middle name is. But DMAC, what's going on, baby? I haven't seen you since the last time I saw you.
What up? There's actually a weird fun fact about me. My full name, I have all these middle names because my parents were fighting, which they did a lot when I was a kid, but my parents were fighting over whose middle names would I have, their brothers and their dad, so they actually put them both. So my full name is actually Douglas Patrick Michael William Clarence Thomas McKain. It's really stupid. So if I'm ever
that sounds
in court or any place where they got to use my government name, they always kind of get a good laugh. But Clint, they say there's nothing better than catching up with old friends. It's just like opening up your favorite gift once again. And always great to talk Dodger baseball. Really everything with you, my man.
Yeah, no, it's been a minute, man. We haven't seen each other since the Muncie event, where we probably should have done more work there, but it was nice just catching up and talking crap and hanging out and having a couple of brew doggies and everything. But my man, we haven't really talked much this season, and it's been a crazy season, I guess, for this Los Angeles Dodgers team, man. I mean, when we leaving spring training, I know you're out there in, what were they this year, Japan, Korea? I don't know. But you thought this was a team that could go 162-0, maybe even go 165-0. They were that good. But we're looking at a 90-win team, probably mostly because the bullpen has been a struggle. The rotation has been elite. Mookie has been a good shortstop, and he also figured out how to hit again. Michael Conforto survived the season somehow. We learned late it is Clayton Kershaw's swan song. What's your kind of summary? What's the recap on this 2025 regular season for you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times.
And hold on, let me pause you real quick. Boost your audio just a hair for me, because I can't. Just a hair. For everybody. They need to hear you. There you go. That sounds good.
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, let me make sure. I'm coming through my mic, right?
Yes.
Yo. Oh, there. Low.
The Britney mic.
I see right here. I got you. Yeah, I think what this season really has been is this is a year where you've seen why you haven't had a repeat champion in a long time. You guys haven't had one since the 70s Reds and National League 2000 Yankees. You've heard people parrot that all season long, right? And there's a reason why. It's because there's a lot of attrition that comes with playing deep into October. And I think with this Dodgers team, the only way they were going to put together a really good regular season was if the signings that they made last offseason all hit. And the truth is that is a combination of Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates not working out, guys having down years, even the starters missing significant time. I actually think a 91-win season, a 92-win season, based on where they were, where you've got the 6th worst bullpen in Dodgers franchise history, where you had down years from Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy during certain stretches, Andy Pages, everyone wanted to send him to the moon early on this season. I mean, everyone expected this team to be a super team, but you've had super long slumps, you've had injuries. But the good thing is, I mean, this team still is peaking at the right time. I truly believe that. They've won 11, so they got 12-5 in the last 17 games. Every single starting pitcher is healthy, and we're heading into October. And I've said this all year, that if this team wanted to be the 2001 Mariners and win 116 games, they could have done it. If they wanted to have Blake Snell come back earlier, have Shohei pitch earlier, have Kersh pitch earlier, have Emmett Sheehan pitch earlier, have Tyler Glasnow come back. If they wanted to do that, they could have, but they decided, hey, we're going to punt on some games during the regular season and manage this injury list like that, just so we have the best possible roster heading into October. I think there's not that big of a difference between a 92-win team in the postseason and a 110-win team. That's just how it is.
No, I mean, the important thing is the team still pulled this off. You still have a championship team, and apparently the I know what I got to do for that one. I'll fix that in future images and getting your background on there. But you just got to win you just got to get into the tournament. You got to win that NL West. Yeah, it would be nicer if they had somehow pulled off, that 1 seed or even a 2 seed getting that bye week. But we saw last year, and you and I talked, especially over I think the final like 2 seasons of Blue Heaven, we talked about those are teams that got bounced in the first round, and we wanted to see them struggle. We wanted to see them have to play meaningful baseball down the stretch. This is a ball club that, once again, much like last year, to a degree, has to play meaningful baseball down the stretch. And I think that you just play better when your mind is set on, they go out there, they're trying to win every single ball game, regardless. But you try a little bit harder when you have the Padres staring down your ass. Till the very bitter end, as opposed to, all right, well, we clinched, in Baltimore on like September 2nd. Let's just kind of stay healthy or whatever. No, this is more important. I talked to Dino Ebel last offseason after they won that World Series, and that was one of the things he said. That was huge for us to have to play meaningful baseball late into the season. And I told you a couple years ago, I don't give a shit. Give me an 88-win team. Just play meaningful baseball. I don't even need the NL West. Just I want to see them not do what they were doing in 22 and 23. And I liked what you said there about they are, and even Dave has echoed the same thing. They are playing the best version of baseball, Dodger baseball, they can at the right time. And, pretty soon it'll be against the Reds and the Mets, and then, Phillies or whatever end up happening. Oh, I guess it would be the Phillies at that point. Yeah, baseball's about to get fun again, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the truth of this whole situation is that you had a season where, you're not in the best position like you were last year. You finished with the best record in baseball. You had home field advantage throughout the postseason. But I would trade that for having 4 of the top 10 starting pitchers are going to be available in the postseason. And then you add guys like Emmett Sheehan and Clayton Kershaw and Roki Sasaki. This team really is in a good position. And I think when you sum up how the year went, look, we're at the point in Dodger baseball where, the floor is a 90-win season. Last 13 years, you're just putting 90 wins in the bank every single year. It's still going to be a fun roller coaster of a season. Shohei Ohtani still had a unanimous MVP year. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is the second best pitcher in the National League outside of Paul Skeens. It still was a fun, rewarding year where they still won the division. But this is the thing. You're not seeing teams win 100 games in Major League Baseball anymore, right? With the balanced schedule, injuries, attrition, no team's going to win more than 100 games. So, I do think the Phillies are going to be a massive test. But I also think whoever wins that series, and look, I know I'm jumping ahead of myself. Anything can happen in Major League Baseball. But we're at the point where if you lost in the wild card round, then you would include this Dodgers team with the most disappointing teams in the history of the sport. Yeah. And that's not happening. It just isn't. You can clip this up. I'll eat 10 bowls of crow if it does happen. But I like the fact that you're seeing this year potentially line up like last year, where when the Dodgers beat the Padres in the NLDS, you just knew if you followed this team for a decade plus, a big weight went off your shoulder, and it was, okay, this team's going to go on to win the World Series. And I feel like that could be the case if they take on the Phillies, they win that round, and then you look at the rest of the competition. This Dodgers team's biggest competition is the Dodgers. So, I feel really excited. Last couple of days, think about this, Clint. Who on this team is trending in the wrong direction outside of the Will Smith injury, the Max Muncy injury? But the rest of the bats are all trending in the right direction. Yeah. The bullpen has some reinforcements. I'm sure we'll talk about Roki Sasaki and Emmett Sheehan. And I think, too, for Game 1 of the Wild Card Series, I think they got a really good plan in place. I think right now I'd go with Blake Snell. Where are you on that?
Yeah, that's been my guy. I know some people have been calling for Yamamoto. He has been the ace of this team, but I really love Blake Snell. An important thing is, and I was going to ask you about this a little bit later, it's I need to see Blake Snell at home. He has been an absolute dog at home. He has been pretty rough on the road. I have the numbers here. Where we at? Snell, 4.3 ERA. Only 4 starts on the road, but I think it was something like 2 at home. He has been outright electric, as where Yamamoto has been really, really good on the road. So what I do love is, even with having to play a wild card series, hopefully it's a 2-game series, they can still line themselves up to almost feel like they had a day off with all of these starting pitching, all the starting pitchers, which is just weird. We haven't had this kind of these levels of aces in, well, no time really during this run. To be able to still set up the NLDS to, if you want Yamamoto out there, like they have the buy-in. Dave has the buy-in of these dudes. Where if Glasnow needs to, pitch in relief or something, he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to do whatever I need. Maybe not Glasnow. He seems like somebody who would really want to start. But they have the tools. They have the talent. And I do love the idea of not being – there is not a wrong answer if it comes to Snell or Yamamoto starting a game one. But Snell is my guy as well.
Yeah, and just look how it lines up. I mean, Snell pitched before Yamamoto, and also you look at the rest that he's been on. I think, too, when you look at that lineup that they could face, Blake Snell's had a lot of success against guys on the Reds, guys on the Mets. If it's the Mets, you got that lefty-heavy lineup with Lindor as a switch hitter. You got Juan Soto. You got to go with Pete Alonso, but you got Nimmo. So that's kind of been the key to beating the Mets is just stacking lefties against them. And I think, too, what I like is if you use Blake Snell in Game 1, he's your $182 million guy, the guy that you did not bring back sooner than you could have to be ready for this time of year.
Yeah.
He gets it done in Game 1. I still like Yamamoto in the second game, and then you have the flexibility to use Shohei Ohtani if you do need to use that break in case of emergency or just, hey, you have a really good feeling that this series could end, and it's electric WBC Shohei out of the bullpen, and then you don't have to use him as a starter, and you can push him back, and we'll see what they do with guys like Tyler Glasnow. I don't think makes the NLDS, the wild card roster, so they were preparing for the DS. And I think Clayton Kershaw, to a degree, too, possibly since he's going on Sunday, could possibly miss that, too. So they're in a great position. Like I said, I mean, this is a Dodgers team that I think almost needs the bright lights of the postseason. They almost need some adversity. Like, when you're playing meaningful baseball every October and every single person on your roster essentially has a World Series ring except for like the Rort vets and the Alex Calls and the new guys. Yeah. It's tough to just get up when every single team is hunting you. And I think that they've gone from being the hunted to now it feels like they're the hunters again because they're that team that's going to have to do something extra special. And that's win 13 games. You have to most likely go on the road throughout the postseason unless one of these teams upsets a team. Yep. And I think that that's kind of brought this group together. They have an edge. It does feel like there's an unspoken edge now with this team that I don't think they had a month ago.
Yeah, no, there is. And I love, that was one of the things. And a reminder for people, it is Saturday, so I can fucking say fuck now on Saturday. Since Jeff joined the show, we try to keep it a little more clean around here. But I love what Dave said after they clinched, is like, keep that fucking edge for the next 6 weeks, for the next 5 weeks. And that's been the mantra. And you mentioned, you've been seeing a lot better baseball over the last couple of weeks. And they have the formula. They figured out a formula last year. Leave the wives, girlfriends, sometimes both, leave them at home, leave the families at home. You are here with the boys. We're here to be boys together and try to win this goddamn thing one more time, and cement that dynasty, because I think you are definitely going to be in the same camp as a lot of people are. I think 3-5 is a dynasty.
Absolutely. I think the D and Dodgers would stand for disappointment if they lost, but it would also stand for dynasty if they won. And yes, you can say being a perennial postseason team gives you sustainability and you got a ticket to the dance, and that's great, and that's what really Major League Baseball is all about because there's so much unpredictability in this sport. But you can't call yourself a dynasty in my book unless you win back-to-back championships. Yeah. I don't even think if you stagger them out, you can still call it a dynasty. When it's a dynasty, it's like, hey, bro, we've been on top of the sport for like 900 days, 1,000 days, right? And when you start to do that, then that you really call yourself a dynasty. And I think this team knows that. They know also, it feels like they can feel the urgency, right? I said on my show not too long ago that I would sacrifice like 5 World Series in like the next like 20 years down the line, we weren't older dudes, for just this one World Series, because you take advantage of Shohei, Mookie, and Freddie in their primes. You send Kershaw off with a World Series title, and then you truly cement yourself as the dynasty of this era. And if there are any doubts about the way this franchise goes about their business, they're gone. And I want to start hearing, what I haven't heard in a while that I want to start hearing again? That the Dodgers are ruining baseball. Yeah. That it's the Los Angeles deferrals.
It's been a minute.
That's been quiet.
Yeah, it's been real quiet, man, because, well, like I mentioned, Tanner Scott just kind of doo-doo this year. Kirby Yates, doo-doo. All pretty much like all of the offseason signings, even to a degree with Blake Snell, who is back at the right time, but all the offseason signings, the things to make them trade deadline proof, they did not work. Even the trade deadline did not work. We'll get some thoughts and opinions on that in a little bit. But Dodgers are primed for a deep, delicious, moist, no reason to do all that, postseason run. I mean, it'll be moist, you know. You got to get your ass in the clubhouse, get sprayed with some champagne, all that kind of stuff. You deserve it. Do some shoeies with Miggy Rowe in there and all that.
No, yeah, that's
that would be weird.
I really hope that I get to experience that this year with my back situation. As you know, I don't have a back. You know what I mean? There's no back here. It's just like shoulders up and then it goes down to my legs, right? There's no back. But yeah, getting to experience that stuff, definitely I would be looking forward to that. A great moment with Dave Vassay and Kersh. I really want pants on, Dave.
Yeah.
If you could have something like that happen.
Yeah, you're in there. You better take the pants off and definitely no shoes. So I did say one of the things, I mean, we've already been talking around a lot of my talking points because it's part of where we're at in the season. We don't care so much about the regular season. It's been phenomenal. Shohei Ohtani, just an underrated season, first 50-50-20 season, which, you know, that's probably pretty cool. Mookie was great. Conforto, again, surviving the season. If you guys have watched me for a long time and watched Doug and I work together with this kind of stuff, you know I love to have some sort of segment or a game or something weird. Something where, I don't know, it's a more concise talking point so we can veer off the rails. So I'm calling this a postseason buy or sell segment of the show. And it's kind of whatever I want it to be with each question. Sometimes it's a yes or a no or agree or disagree or whatever. Mostly it's a reason for us to talk Dodgers as we are, 3 days away from the start of the postseason play. You already said it, but I want to say it again, and we're going to get it, all buttoned up in this particular section of the show. Shohei Ohtani, buy or sell. Shohei Ohtani will be the unanimous NL MVP in 2025. FanDuel odds right now. Shout out FanDuel for sponsoring the show, presenting the show. Minus 50,000 odds that Shohei wins. Kyle Schwarber plus 1,600. So, of course, you got your odds on favorite there in Shohei Ohtani. Doug, you remember that week there where Schwarber hit a 4 home run game and he was the MVP? That quieted down real quick. Do you think there's going to be a writer, somebody stupid enough to not cast a vote for Shohei?
If there's a writer, even if he's in Philadelphia and he's Kyle Schwarber's brother, if that writer does not give Shohei Ohtani the unanimous MVP, he shouldn't be allowed to not only cover baseball, to never watch baseball ever again. Like, I'm dead serious about this. This is a once. I get triggered when someone calls Shohei Ohtani generational. Like, I think that's disrespectful. Like, he's literally a once in a sport, once in a humanity type of player. I glaze Shohei Ohtani so much that I should get a job at Krispy Kreme Donuts. Like, it is out of control because, Clint, we grew up loving this team.
Yeah.
And we had our stars. We had our Sean Greens. We had our Gary Sheffields, right? But we've never had someone that you could say is without question the best player in his sport. Like, Shohei Ohtani is better at baseball than any current NFL player is at football. Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen.
Facts.
LeBron James, Jokic, all those. He's literally the best at his sport because he plays 2 sports in one. Pitching and hitting is 2 different sports, like Oral Hershiser always says. And I think 50 strikeouts and 50-plus home runs is more impressive than a 50-50 home run and stolen base season. I mean, we're talking about a guy that has come back from a second major arm surgery and has posted a sub-3 ERA, a sub-2 FIP, all elite strikeout numbers. And you could make the case that he's pitching better now than he ever has. And he's hitting 50-plus home runs. Like, he's doing stuff with the Dodgers at an older age that he wasn't doing with the Angels. Like, it's unbelievable. And I think it's going to get boring. There's going to be voter fatigue. But the truth is, as long as he's pitching at a top 10 level and hitting at a top 10 level, he should be the unanimous MVP. And the truth is, he's hitting at a top 1 or 2 level.
Yeah.
And he's pitching at, if he had been a full season, it wouldn't be a question, but he's still pitching at a top 10 level. So, yeah, it's going to get so boring. Like, it really, like, they could make these MVP awards for the next, 8 years, and they probably wouldn't be wasting money. Like, it's going to get so boring.
Yeah.
They're going to hate this man so much. He's coming after Bonds is 7.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that, and it's funny. I was going to ask you as well. It's like, I know Shohei still clicks. So I'm imagining, you're covering Shohei a lot in your content, but do you think like he's still just not given enough love and respect for the insane shit that he does on a baseball diamond? Yeah, we saw him play shortstop when he took that liner off the palm and then make some crazy ass play. You could probably plug him in at shortstop and he would be not terrible looking. Like you said, he is somebody who could do literally everything on a baseball diamond. Is he like almost underrated?
I would say 100% absolutely. I was thinking about this the other day, right? And he's got 54 home runs, and he is dominating on the mound, right?
Yeah.
Think about this. Look how good Yamamoto is. Like, look at how good Blake Snell is, right? Like, how many Yamamoto could have 1,000 at bats and might not get a double. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like
yeah.
he could literally probably bat like forever against even if he went against Tanner Scott. You know what I mean? Like even if he,
bruh,
even if he would. And I saw this the other day. That Babe Ruth never once struck out 3 batters in a season and had 30+ home runs. And over the last 5 years, Shohei has 231 home runs and has struck out 604 batters. Like, it's unbelievable what Shohei's been able to accomplish. It's really. I try to, like, a couple years ago, I was like, hey, is it like having Aaron Rodgers on as your quarterback and then Aaron Rodgers on defense goes and beats Aaron Donald? But it's really almost like it's like Roger Clemens meets like I mean Ken Griffey Jr. Right?
Yeah, Jr.
I mean, it's like
Jr.'s a good one. Yeah.
It's really incredible what he's been able to do. But I will say though that once you get to I got the 5 stages of a big leaguer. You got the legacy stage is where he's at, right? And with the legacy stage is all about padding those Hall of Fame numbers, winning those World Series titles. I think that he's at the 6th stage that no one gets to, and that's the GOAT stage, where everything that he does from this point of his career on is not, is he a Hall of Famer? Is he one of the greatest ever? It's, is he the GOAT? Like, is he like the Michael Jordan? And to accomplish that, we know that you can do great stuff in the regular season, but to really elevate to the very top tier where there's that short table that has a couple chairs on it, you got to be great in October. And last year, he had the big moment against Dylan Cease with the home run, had some big moments in NLCS. I think his performance in the World Series is underrated because he got that double that led to the Gleyber play, the Soto mishap that led to the tie that led to the Grand Slam by Freddie. But I think this is the year where he wins NLCS and World Series MVP, and he really is truly like, wow, like this guy truly is like in that short top 10 list of all-time great athletes in all of sports.
Change the logo. It should be Shohei Ohtani. Have the hands out there, the bat thing going. Yeah,
I like his logo. You like his logo?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good logo. Shout out New
runs.
Balance. Sponsor your boy. Think about it. You could be doing some shoeies out of New Balances,
Actually, I bought a pair of his shoes. And my goal, and I never wear them, but my goal was I bought his signature shoes, and I was gonna like untie them and like walk by his locker and like go and tie them. Like, these are so comfortable. Try to make conversation with them. You know what I mean? But the truth of the matter is, like, I'm telling you, doesn't matter if you're like the great Bill Plunkett or Dave Vassay or these guys. Like, no one goes over to talk to Shohei. Like, I think you'd be like escorted out and like. You'd be next to Ipe in prison in Pennsylvania somewhere. Like, but yeah, I mean, that is my dream to do sometimes.
What's funny is when we went out to spring training this year, I went with Alana, and it's Alana. She's big dog on campus there, so I followed her around like a good little boy, and she went up to Shohei after he finished the workout and extended the hand, shake a hand. Same with Yamamoto, and we were told after, it's like people really just don't go up to Shohei. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not washing my hand, I guess. I shook the hand of a goat, and it felt like a human hand. He's
incredible.
He's pretty good. He's also, you've been around him. He's an imposing figure. Like he is a lot of boy. that Shohei Ohtani, who is going up on, what is this, would be MVP number 4, and then it'll be 5, and then 6, and then 7, and then everybody's going to get real bored. I got a super chat. I do want to get some of the chat in here. You guys know whenever me and DMAC are together, we're going to be talking a whole bunch, but my buddy Kevin Uhas with the $10 super chat, thank you very much, sir, has a little bit of input on the Ohtani unanimous MVP. Do you think Shohei doesn't get the unanimous MVP votes because he has relief pitching levels of innings pitched? My concern is he's not the level of a top 10 starting pitcher, even though he's absurdly good. Nobody else in the top 10 of pitching and innings and all that has 54 homers, though. That's where it's just like foregone conclusion. This is your MVP, man.
Yeah, I can make it pretty simple, and this is that the only way that Kyle Schwarber could have a realistic argument over Shohei for not just MVP, for unanimous MVP, is if he was putting up Aaron Judge-like numbers offensively. Yeah. If he was doing that, because Aaron Judge, all this talk about Shohei Ohtani, the truth is he is not as good of an offensive player as Aaron Judge. There's no debate there, right? If Schwarber was doing that, maybe we could have that conversation. Yeah. But the truth is that Schwarber isn't even putting up offensive numbers close to Shohei Ohtani. The WAR numbers, he's got almost 3 WAR over him, and Schwarber's not even that strong of an MVP candidate, if we're being completely honest. I think with Cal Raleigh, I'm a big Aaron Judge over Cal Raleigh MVP guy. I don't know if you are. No. By the way, can I say something? I saw at the All-Star game, I was literally 1 foot away from him after he won that home run derby. Uh-huh. I saw that dumper with my own eyes. It is world class.
Got the badonkey dunk,
It was the same feeling I got. Remember we saw Bruce Bochy at the winter meetings?
Yeah.
And you saw Bruce Bochy's head in real life?
Yeah.
It's the same feeling you get when you see Bruce Bochy's head in real life when you see that dumper. It's kind of crazy. It's got to be so weird, Clint, because because that nickname, anytime you see him, you want to look down and you know what I mean? It's got to be weird for him. He's he can probably feel the looks on his dumper. It's got to be kind of weird.
Yeah, listen, if people are always just staring at my ass, well, they probably are. I got a lot of ass also to give, but I'm not a major league catcher.
I've got a long back. That's it.
It's all right. No, you found the right pants though. I've seen that booty pop, as the kids say. You just gotta. I'm sure you've lost a little bit of it with your back and not being able to play office baseball and all the things to keep you in shape and also break us down like it did. We're getting some love also generally in the chat for the boys being back together. $1.99 from Danny D says, "Who Clinton Doug, great combo guys, getting the boys back together. Appreciate the super chat there." Grizzly Oso saying, Doug and Clint back together again. It's like having Christmas before my parents divorced. Can we do this with Jeff Evan next? I don't know. That'd be a lot of bodies, a lot of talking heads on there, but I do eventually want to have everybody, the whole family together, talking about Dodger baseball. But we appreciate the super chats there. I do have more. Don't worry. I see Laura. I see Richie. I'm going to get you guys shoehorned in as the conversation goes. And don't worry, Doug. This is not going to be a forever kind of show. I will let you leave at some point. But continuing on, that was only one buy or sell question. So I got a couple, but a couple more here for us as well. Laura's actually plays pretty well into this. $1.99 from Laura. Thank you very much, Laura, saying, who'd you rather face, the Mets or the Reds? And I know you just spoke about this recently because I was going through your Twitter. So I know that you talked about this on Dodgers Dugout recently. But buy or sell, I'll set it up this way. You'd rather face, and I think this is what you said. You'd rather face, no, you talked about lefty hitters. All right, I'm going to stop correcting myself. You'd rather face the Mets' crappy rotation over the Reds' couple of solid starters. Buy or sell?
We've seen what a hot starter against this Dodgers lineup can do. Look at Blake Snell in 2020 if he doesn't get taken out. I think bringing in the guy they brought in was the real issue there, but still, yeah, the Reds are a team that has the potential to have shutdown starting pitching, and the Mets are a team that's lining up McClain to make that start. Starters haven't gone deep into games. Did you see the Mets get absolutely cooked? Yeah. Did you see the Mets get actually cooked by their home runners, just absolutely destroyed for just their disinterest in how they played? And I think the Mets might choke against the Marlins too because of the way the Marlins have lined up that rotation to go up against them. But yeah, I still think, sure, the Mets are a more talented team because they've got, as Mookie says, the guys that drive Benzes too, the Sotos and the Lindors, they've got all-star level talent.
Pete Alonso.
But the Reds are so dangerous because it is a elite starting pitching potential and a team that has absolutely nothing to lose. They have not made the playoffs since the mid-'90s, right? It is going to feel like a celebration.
2020.
I don't consider that the playoffs there. The World Series that year I take serious. And yes, Bauer was really good in that series.
Yeah.
Right? But we're talking about in a full season, they have not made the postseason since the 90s. So they're going to be celebrating and having fun with that too. But still, I think that they're a team that is going to have nothing to lose, and that's a dangerous team in the postseason. And they beat the Dodgers, could lose to the Mets. They could lose to the Reds because guess what, Clint? Any team in Major League Baseball, the worst team, the Rockies, the Pirates, we've seen any team can beat any team 2 games, right? That's the truth. But if I had to pick between the two, I would much rather face the Mets than the Reds.
So on that, I got a good follow-up to that. Buy or sell, agree or disagree. The offense, not the bullpen, cost the Dodgers in the playoffs.
See, the thing that you would assume, you would say the bullpen, right? You would assume that it was the bullpen. But we know that the reason why this team has lost when they have lost is because the bats don't show up. It's because they go cold. But I will go back to Shohei Ohtani, and I'll say this, that I am not going to revert to pre-Shohei Ohtani Dodgers doomerism in fear until they actually lose with Shohei Ohtani. And then you got clutch bats like Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah.
You got clutch bats like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman that are really rounding into form. So I don't think the offense is going to be a reason why. And the truth is, with the starting pitching, I don't think they have to be an A-plus offense. I think even if you get the B version of this offense, that should be enough to win games with this group. But the Bull, even with the influx of Roki Sasaki, who looks fantastic. I took a lot of L's this year because I dubbed him the Roki of the Year a couple last year, then trying to take, and I made those T-shirts.
I lost your audio there, Chief. Hold on. We lost your audio. I think something got unplugged. Why you breaking? Why you breaking my heart, man? Listen. Oh, there's something going on. We'll almost get it figured out. Don't worry. How about this? Figure out your audio. I don't know if it's audio or maybe the internet, whatever it is. While Doug is doing that, how about I tell you guys about Delete Me? I think that's a fair time to do this right now. Guys, Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everybody vulnerable. Data brokers, they make a profit off of your data. They want to make money off of you. Your data is a commodity to these people. Anybody on the web can buy your private details. They can that can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, harassment. Now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. I am somebody, Doug is somebody, we both have active online presences. Privacy is important to somebody like me, somebody like him. Even with the precautions that we might be taking, data brokers are still out there trying to get our data, sell our info online to the highest bidder. And Delete Me helps us keep a little more peace of mind at the end of the day. So you guys can take control of your data, keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. You see it there on the screen. You get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/hit. Use promo code HIT at checkout. That's the only way you can get that 20% off. Go to joindeleteme.com/hit. Use promo code HIT, HIT at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/hit. Use promo code HIT at checkout. Appreciate you guys listening. Now let's get DMAC in here and let's double check. Is that audio going? Where are we at? Cannot hear you still. Did you mute yourself? Did something mute you? How about this? Jump out, jump back in on that link. Try that. Sometimes that does the thing. This is what happens. We got. I don't know if you could even hear me. Can you hear me? Nod yet? Okay, he can hear me. We got a thumbs up, guys. This is the riveting part of the show. Sometimes tech issues happen, but I'd say if you X out and then come back, we should decently, potentially, maybe work again, unless something broke for you. I don't know. Anyway, while he figures that out, I don't know if he did jump out. Maybe he's restarting his computer because he did look frozen there for a second. How about we hang out with the chat for a little bit before DMAC comes back? Appreciate you guys rocking with us while things get broken. Dusty saying DMAC being ghost banned. Nah, it's the internet, man. It's the internet. Sometimes things just happen. Saying NS said he didn't just cut out. It sounded like something unplugged or something. Yeah. Things become things sometimes. I'm seeing him popping back in. Can we hear him now? Can we hear? Let me make sure I sign him to the right spot. What about now?
Yo.
Yeah, he's back.
I don't know I really don't know what happened. I mean, let's go.
There it is. Mario says, man down, man down.
Yeah, we've been pretty good this whole stretch. Do you use Chrome or do you, I'm like Dodgers bullpenning here, just like absolutely melting down, doing full Tanner Scott mode on this. Like, apologize.
It happens, man. It happens. All right.
Yeah, I was into my thought though, because I'll pick up where I was.
I love it.
The bullpen, like I said, the starting rotation, it's like a brand new iPhone 17, but the bullpen is like the screen is cracked, right? And that's the bullpen. But I will say, the influx of talent, it makes you feel a little better. But at the end of the day, we can sit here and try to predict and try to say, okay, this guy should be in that matchup. The Emmett Sheehan looks like this guy could be a number 2 starter in this league if he adds a third pitch, and the upside's certainly there. Clayton Kershaw looked good against the Diamondbacks. Roki's looked good the last couple of times out. But the truth is at some point they're going to have to rely on this bullpen, and guys like Blake Trinan are going to have to come through in big spots. Guys like Alex Vest are going to have to come through in big spots, who has been the most durable and the most reliable reliever for this team. But the truth is they don't have that one guy that this year you could say inspires a ton of confidence that they're a lights-out guy. Like, I joked about on my show how Dave Roberts had the trust tree. It's like not even the trust twig or the trust leaf or the trust seeds, right? It's nothing like that. I mean, it's just been a bunch of guys that have, quite frankly, pitched too much early on in the season, or guys that are just having down years. But you're going to have to rely on this bullpen. I think that if this team loses, I think it'll be because of the bullpen.
Yeah, so you're selling on the idea that the offense could be the reason the Dodgers lose, and I agree with that one. The bullpen has. I mean, hey, you know how it goes, man. It leads to some good numbers on the post games when Tanner Scott comes in and shits all over the bed. How about this one? Buy or sell? The Dodgers failed at the trade deadline in the reliever market. Of course, this coming off of the heels of hearing Brock Stewart out for the year with shoulder surgery. They failed. Buy or sell?
I think that they, looking back, had they have known that Brock Stewart was not going to be available for this team, that they clearly would have tried to get someone else, because they told us by doing that you were trying to replace what you lost in Evan Phillips, which is a high-leverage reliever that can get out right-handed hitters. And they watched other guys like, look, the Johan Durans and the Mason Millers, those guys were getting top dollar. And maybe you don't get a guy like that, but I think that they'll look back and regret not going after a Ryan Helsley type, a David Bednar type. I mean, guys that you could have gotten that certainly you have the prospect capital to go and get. And the truth is that, hey, while other teams like the Phillies and teams like the Mets and the Padres, they're pushing in those $100,000 blue chips, Dodgers pushing in their $10 chips. They're like their $15 chips in the middle of the table. And the reason why they did that was
James Outman was a $5 chip for what it's worth.
$5 chip, maybe like a $0.5 chip, man. Like, but
poor Jimmy.
No, I love James Outman, man. But the truth is at the time they felt like their internal pieces were going to work out. They felt like Kirby Yates and Tanner Scott were going to work out. My issue with this, the big issue I have is this, Clint, though, and I've always said this, like, we get it. Andrew Fried made it so clear in the offseason. He did not want to buy at the deadline. He did not want to go out there and pay those hotel minibar prices and give those top prospects, right? He wants to save those prospects for a monster like an Ellie De La Cruz down the line or a Paul Skeens down the line. You save those chips for an offseason trade to get the most value.
Yeah, the next Mookie trade.
The Mookie trade's a perfect example, right? But having said that, Clint, the issue with signing all of your bullpen pieces in the offseason is you don't know if you're getting the good year or the bad year from what's always been the most volatile position in baseball. So the good thing about getting guys during the year, it's like, oh, this guy's hot this year. Oh, this guy's having himself a year. We have a couple months to evaluate him. We see what we can tweak when he goes to the Dodgers, and we send him to Mark Breyer's pitching lab. But the good thing is that for a lot of teams out there, even the contenders, had you have signed a Tanner Scott for 4 years and $72 million, and he is starting to look like this Padres double agent that's an inside job, and Kirby Yates is a $13 million one that just like he's the reliever version of a Noah Syndergaard or a that kind of thing. But the good news is most teams that make those signings, if those don't work out, they really don't have other guys to pivot to. Yeah. The Dodgers are one of the only organizations that has the depth of their starting pitching to roll guys over into that pen, to have some of these younger guys. Like they found a Will Klein. I saw people, he's like a demon out there a little bit. He's gonna get
which that just is like an Evan Phillips type of move. Those type of under the radar additions. That's how the Dodgers have stayed good for so many years. Alex Vesia was kind of one of those guys, even though it was an offseason trade. Dylan Floro, who was the Alex Vesia trade piece, was one of those guys before. They always win with those type of dudes. Will Klein is the new is what they hoped Brock Stewart, I think, would be, but he's kind of this year's potential Evan Phillips in the postseason, which just makes me feel good because that's where this front office excels, is in finding those dudes and fixing them, just making them the best version of themselves.
For sure. But I will say that, am I buying or selling? It's tough because they got Ben Rortvedt, and Ben Rortvedt is going to be your starting catcher in the postseason. Legend. Did I tell you our nickname for him? It's the best nickname for him. I ran it by him. He likes it. It's Benny the Vet Rodriguez from The Sandlot.
That's pretty good. Around here, we came up with. I don't like the Rottweiler one. Plus, it's just difficult apparently for me to say. But we call him Little Ben Rortvedt. So
that's goodness, that might be the winner.
That
shout
one
out to Prince.
Run
shout
that
out to
one.
Prince.
Yeah,
shout out to Prince Fielder. Shout out to Prince Fielder.
Hey. Rest in peace, his neck. Rest in peace, your back. All that kind of stuff. We got $4.99 from Richie Flores earlier. Thank you very much, Richard, for supporting the show. Says we think that signing both Yates and Scott was a brilliant move. Sincerely, Kevin Malone. There's a new sheriff in town and said he's not happy that there's not voicemails today. But I wasn't going to have voicemails on a DMAC show. Come on now. This is about the boys, the band being back together. To pin the tail here on this donkey of bullpen talk, I do believe, like you're saying, you alluded to, the master plan all along was to go with the in-house guys. They knew they were not going to be starting Emmett Sheehan. The hope then still that Bazooka would be coming back and be some sort of help for this team. But they had enough pieces in there, and they weren't going to go spend all that big coin to get your Durans or how much the Padres had to pay for Mason Miller. I like the talent they have. You need Tanner Scott to figure it out. And Blake, Kirby Yates, thankfully sent to the moon. You mentioned it there, and this is part of the bullpen talk, and we already kind of said it. And I know you believe it because I've seen your tweets about it as well. Buy or sell. Roki has done enough in his 2 outings to secure a playoff roster spot and, moreover, a late-inning high-leverage spot.
100%. I think you have to bet on the upside. I think you look at what he means as organization long-term and wanting to be a part of this group. And I think, too, for Roki, they challenged him. They challenged him to go down there, tighten up those mechanics, get healthy, learn a 2-seamer. If you saw the way those 4-seamers were charted the other night against the Diamondbacks, with the run on those righties, those were clearly 2-seamers at 100 miles per hour, going 11 inches left and right. That's some filthy stuff. So I think you have to respect the fact that you're seeing him throw a slider too. The forkball is a very unique pitch, one of the most unique in the sport. As long as he's having that fastball command, I think that he can dominate hitters and he gets off contact. The pitch to Arozarena yesterday, it's probably not the best pitch call in that situation. With that fastball up, you want to kind of keep that down, I think, in those situations. But the truth is just like, who's better than him? Like, what's the alternative? That's the thing about me is, do you want the unknown guy that even though he's green, even though he's a rookie, throwing 100, not being familiar to opposing hitters, or do you want someone else out? Do you want Michael Kopech to come up, who's pitchable right now, but doesn't have any command. Like, I think it's funny. What I've been thinking to myself is, Friedman's talked about wanting to give you different looks out of the bullpen. And with Kirby Yates, it was okay. He has the fall off the table splitter. Michael Kopech had so much success with this team last year out of the bullpen. He's the one guy that gives you a four-seamer up in the zone at 100-plus miles per hour. Guess what? Roki can do both those things, right? He can throw that nasty fork as a right-handed pitcher and throw high velocity. So I think that, it's the one thing that's tough to gauge in that situation is the variable of inexperience. And you just don't know how guys are going to react and respond in those situations. But, hey, if you pitch in Japan, that's a pressure-packed situation, the MPB. He's pitched in the WBC. I don't know about you, Clint, but when they cut to Shohei and he's clapping like a proud parent, I don't see Shohei doing that for Tanner Scott.
No.
I mean, I don't
he got some love. He got some love in the post game celebrations when they clinched. But it's a different kind of relationship with Roki. The show really wants Roki to succeed. Obviously, everybody wants Roki to succeed because there's a reason everybody last offseason wanted this kid. The talent is there. The upside is there. We knew he wasn't a polished product. He still had some work yet to be done. Unfortunately, it shined through very early in the season, but in the bullpen, gets to just rely on his 2 pitches, short burst. Don't worry about going 5 innings. Don't even worry about going 3 or 4 innings. Just give us one electric inning like we've seen. And you know what, the Rosarena pitch, I love that there was a hitter that reached base because we got to see him pitch out of the stretch and kind of be able to hold it down. And you saw your good best friend, Big Dumper, looked foolish against those 3 splitties, those 3 forkballs in a row. Like, this dude can be a secret weapon, and I'm very excited to see what he can do because there are also no other better options waiting in the wings, like you also mentioned.
And I think too, Clint, like big picture, what I love about this too is now it's like his floor. Like, he went from being like, you were going to see those insane YouTube videos of the rise and fall of Roki Sasaki, and you're going to see those dramatic
I can
thumbnails.
see you writing it now.
Right? You know, exactly, right? With Bust, right?
Bust.
Like, you were going to see those. He entered the season as the #1 prospect in all of Major League Baseball, and he was terrible. Like, he had almost 5 ERA. The strikeout stuff wasn't there. He was throwing 96. We're like, where the heck is this 100-mile-per-hour fastball we heard so much about? And I think that the worst-case scenario is that the floor for Roki Sasaki is, well, maybe this guy is destined to be an elite reliever. And when you're paying a guy less than $10 million to throw 100, to throw an incredible forkball, like, this is only going to be a positive now, I think, for the Dodgers. And he could be just one of those X factors, one of those secret weapons. I mean, I can see the title now, right? The Dodgers' secret weapon, right? Roki Sasaki. And it's very encouraging because
I see Tuesday's edition of Dodgers Dugout right there.
Already done like 3 episodes of that title. But
that's fair.
yeah, I mean, the thing is if I told you this 3 months ago, you wouldn't have believed me. That this was how Roki Sasaki was going to pitch, as the role he's going to have. I want to see him closing games. I really do. Like, I want to see him in the high leverage situations because he's got the biggest stuff, and I just trust him. There's just he does feel like he's a prodigy, and like those guys that carry themselves. And this is a guy who is saying he's said himself he wants to be the best pitcher in the world. Like, this guy has like brainwashed himself to thinking he's that kind of guy, that he's got it like that. And I think it's exciting for the Dodgers because without these guys, without the Roki, Sheehan's, and Kershaw's, and with the Brock Stewart news, I really wouldn't see a path to a World Series. But now they actually have a path with these guys.
Yeah, and I'll credit one of our talking heads here, Kevin Skinner, producer Kevin on the show, because we were talking about Roki last night, and he was one of the he was the guy who said, maybe that is his role. Maybe his role in the big leagues is to be a lights out reliever. My argument is, the Dodgers, you saw what they did with Bobby Miller. They're just going to try to force him to be a starter until they run him into the ground, and he has no confidence left. But hopefully, there's a lot of confidence boosting opportunities in this postseason for Roki, who could be picking up some saves, just pitching in huge relief roles. I want to go back a little bit to the Rortvet stuff, because I like this from I Will Flip You the Bird. He said Tortvet. He meant
Tortvet.
Tortavet, But I like Tortvet because, it's just on brand for you, man. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you still do
Tortvet,
the
baby.
Yeah. Get yourself a fine Tortvet.
I like the Tortvet.
And going back also, make sure I give my friend IB Stroking the credit. He is the one that technically came up with the Little Ben Torvet, or not Torvet, but Rorvet. So credit where credit is due. One last bullpen thing. And I got a couple more for you, then I'll let you get you out of this one, Max. This one can be super simple. Buy or sell. Tanner Scott picks up a big save in the postseason.
Wow, that's a really good one.
Feels like a
sell. Yes, because baseball's weird. I'm going to say yes because baseball's the ultimate, I was at my lowest point. I thought the baseball gods hated me. This is the worst year of my life and all that stuff. But the way I look at it is this, Clint. The baseball, there's never been an easy run to a title. Even last year, the dream team, the super team, had to overcome a 2-1 deficit and beat the Padres in Game 5. And then even the World Series was getting dicey, right? I mean, that's not your standard 5-game gentleman sweep dominant series win. It's going to be a long postseason, especially with the extra games. To go through the DS, the CS, and the World Series, everyone's talking about this monster rotation, the murderers rotation, like to call it. Yeah. But the truth is there's always variance, and sometimes guys will go 4 2/3 innings instead of 6. And when that happens and guys get pushed back and you're playing games in close to each other, that sometimes you're going to have to lean on Tanner Scott at some point. And I think there could be just one game fit in there where, 4 of his last 5 have looked pretty good. The conviction on the fastballs look pretty good. The slider off the plates look pretty decent. It just feels like with the commitment that they have in him, he's going to be here for 3 more years after that. Can't believe I'm saying this. I'm kind of vomiting my mouth a little bit, but I do think that Tanner Scott somehow, some way comes up big and gets you one save.
Yeah, the stuff is there. We know he's going to be wild. He can be effectively wild. At some point, I agree. He's going to be on that postseason roster. We could all resign ourselves to it. They invested a lot of money. They have belief in him. They just needed somebody to tell him at some point, hey, don't throw the same fucking pitch 15 times in a row. Learn how to tunnel better. You have a very good slider. You have a very good fastball. But by themselves, they're not very good unless you're using them together. That's what we saw last night when he struck out, was it Suarez, I think, to end the game? There was some fastball in there, and then the slider buried under it, and he swung over it. So,
and that's the thing, Clint.
Whoever's calling those pitches, I do wonder. Yeah, but go ahead.
And one thing I would say, Clint, too, is when someone that we've seen come through this organization, when they go from being great to bad, it's usually you can point to a velocity dip, a stuff dip. And yes, he's been getting hit harder, but the truth is the dude was lights out against the same Dodgers team last year, and the velocity is the same. The movement profile and the slider is the same. Just the attack plan is a little different. I think the confidence is down. So, he's not Jason Schmidt yet, right? Let's give him one more chance because look, it's kind of one of those things. You ever a family member that you're a cousin, a brother, whoever it is, and it's they annoy you, but it's they're gonna be with you for the foreseeable future. Might as well just all right, let's play Madden or something. Let's hang out a little bit and let's find a way to make this kind of cordial. If he was a free agent, I'd say, dude, send this dude to the moon, right? Send him to Jupiter. Yeah. But the fact he's gonna be here for 3 more years after this, and the stuff is still kind of where it is, I still think there's a chance. But I will say that it would have to be when the Dodgers have already been rolling. I think they're going to manage this thing extremely tight. Yeah. You are going to see them get creative with starting pitchers and guys like Shohei Ohtani. I think he's going to get multiple saves at some point throughout this run. I think Emmett Sheehan could be used later than earlier as opposed to what some people think. So I think that they're not going to just jump to putting him in those situations. I think that they're going to be careful about it. He's going to have to work his way up. But I laugh when I hear people saying this. People are like, "Oh, yeah, you can't use him in high leverage situations." Bro, in the postseason, every inning is a high leverage situation. I don't care if you're up 5 runs. All some things can snowball. So if he's going to be used at any point in any capacity, he's got to go out there and get the job done. But it's going to be a short leash, that's for sure.
Yeah, we saw last year, and I mentioned this last night. There's still a need for your low leverage guy or a mop up type of dude, if that ends up being a role that's an important role. We saw Brent Honeywell make a Dodgers legendary career, cement himself as a legend by having that role last year. You just hope it's not the dude you paid $72 million to end up being that guy. Everybody has a zero ERA when the postseason starts. Hopefully he's able to build something up off of it, because the Dodgers are a lot better with a good version of Tanner Scott. So you mentioned the starters. This is something I've been playing with. I talked about this. We haven't talked about it on the channel yet, but I did bring it up to Jeff Snyder earlier this week, and he kind of laughed at me. But you're somebody who at least play ball with me on this kind of question. This is me being stupid. You know how I like to think outside the bun, outside the box about this weird shit. Hear me out. Obviously, the Dodgers need some help in the bullpen. You have 6 starters at the moment. My idea was, and I'll preface it by saying it's not going to happen, and it's probably a stupid idea, but it's not as dumb as you think. You have 6 starters right now. Buy or sell this idea. Kershaw, your number 4 starter, Glasnow, and his stuff, his punch-out ability available out of the bullpen. What's more important, a 4th starter or Glasnow available across multiple relief outings? Love it, hate it, should I quit talking Dodgers altogether? Where are you at with it?
I think it's reasonable. I think if they're going to continue to preach that every and the bullpen has been about as reliable as the ice cream machine at your local McDonald's, then you have to think like that. They showed last year that they'd be willing to do things that are non-traditional. I think for Tyler Glasnow, I mean, you saw his last start against the Giants. He had a rough first inning, and you have Tyler Glasnow and Clayton Kershaw. I was putting this out there as them being a piggybacker just because of the different look there, right? You get a lefty that's throwing 90s, touching the bottom of the zone, a nasty slider and curveball, and then you get the big stuff from Tyler Glasnow come from the other side. They make sense. I think Kershaw also makes sense with Shohei Ohtani. But no, I think outside of Yamamoto and Blake Snell, I think outside of those 2 guys, and then Shohei Ohtani, of course, is going to go, but they're not going to push him 7 or 8 unless he's extremely, extremely efficient. Outside of those 2 guys, I think the rest of that group you can get creative with. Absolutely. Like Yamamoto has his routines. Mm-hmm. Blake Snell has his routines. I mean, when's the last time those guys have ever pitched out of the bullpen, right? Yeah. I mean, they're ever.
Glasnow has pitched out of the bullpen, right? I think he started,
right? Yeah. So I absolutely do think that that's a way that you can keep guys fresh and try to limit the bullpen. You know our favorite meme, like the dude pointing to his head, It's like, the bullpen, the less you use the bullpen, the less they can actually hurt you, right? So that's the trick. Yeah. I mean, the less you actually use those guys that have tanked, and Dave Roberts gets all the criticism, but the truth is it's like juggling ticking time bombs. Whoever you're going to pick, it's going to blow up on you, right? So I think if you got Tyler Glasnow bought in, Clayton Kershaw will pitch 1 pitch or 100. He pitched 200 pitches if you told him that would help them win the game. So we know Kersh is on board for anything. And I think Tyler Glasnow is too, and I think the rest of this gang is too. So I absolutely would love to see some creativity like that from this team. So I'm buying that idea for sure.
I thought it was just something where to have Kershaw. I mean, Kershaw looked good in his relief appearance. I liked it. Granted, was saved by Superman Tommy Edman in center field. Looking a little froggy, as Joe Davis said, hit 91 on the fastball. But you have 98, 99 in the back pocket with Tyler Glasnow, especially in relief. And to pocket him, to just save him, to be, this year's kind of Alex Wood or something where he's the 4th guy, and it feels like a waste when strikeouts are more important. Somebody was saying in the chat, though, like he is a little wild at times. He can't always find the strike zone. So sometimes having somebody who can show up and just hit the strike zone, cough, cough, Clayton Kershaw, maybe that does play a little bit different or better or whatever. But I'm glad somebody agrees with me, because Jeff literally sent me 2 crying, laughing emojis about the idea. It says, it's having a conversation, man. All right, the last one. All right, what do you got?
The thing too is, like, I mean, with Glasnow, you're just happy that he's even available, right? So it's like any innings that he gives you, any production he gives you, you're going to feel like is a plus. But I do think you're going to push him to the DS, and you get a start from him there. But after that, I mean, depending on how these lefties lined up, because, I mean, you got Robleski in there who people aren't really talking about. I think Robleski can be versatile where he can pitch high leverage. Like right now, I would take Robleski over Tanner Scott in a high leverage moment. But he also gives you that multi-inning ability where if you do need some mop-up duty guy, he can certainly go out there and be that guy as well. And if you use him in that role, then you can take Clayton Kershaw and plug him into another role, because they do have an influx of lefties with Bonda, with Vesia, with Scott, with Robleski, with Dreyer, right? So that's why I think it kind of makes sense to get versatile with Kersh. But like you said, Edman made that nice play. But for me, I will say this, like you guys, right? I'm the leader of Christianity and all that stuff. Having said that, even right now, even after seeing that start, I would really love to see a way, even though he has his first inning issues, to see him earlier in a game than later in a game. Because the later he gets in a game, you get those 2019 Nationals flashbacks where he doesn't have the big stuff that plays up in the postseason. And guys are going to be ambushing that fastball to try to hit home runs. And the earlier you use him, if he's effective, great. But then if he's not effective, you've got a lot of outs to work with to make up those runs. So I would prefer to see a way where you use Kersh earlier than later, just in the event that he does blow up. Because let's be honest, like, if you're a true Dodgers fan, like, all those Dodgers fans that talk crap about Kersh, like, I don't even, like, it's so disrespectful. Like, the choke shot, all that stuff, like, retire old man stuff, like, it makes me wonder what you're actually fan, but I won't go down that road. But I will say that we're all biased when it comes to Clayton Kershaw. Like, the dude has one good appearance, and it's, oh, my goodness, he's Mariano Rivera and Josh Hader rolled into one, right? Like, the truth is, you still have to be careful with him because of the way the stuff's playing right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, with the state of the bullpen, that's where we feel. That's why the second Roki, threw a strike, I was like, oh, he's in. He's in. The state of the bullpen drives you to be like, anybody that comes in and actually attacks the strike zone, come aboard. You're one of us now. So, again, I don't think the Dodgers do this, but maybe I put this in their brain. They're smarter than me. They've already been thinking about it. But the last one I did have for you, because I don't feel like for now 160 games of baseball, the fact that Michael Conforto survived this roster is just insane, dumbfounded. For being somebody who is a one-year guy, the question I have, the final buy or sell, Conforto starts at least half of the postseason games for the Dodgers. Are you buying it or are you selling it? It's more of a prediction, I guess.
I'm going to sell that. I'm going to sell that just because even though you have Tommy Edman in there against left-handed pitching, and when they do that, you're going to see Andy Paz in left, and you're going to see Teo in right. When you got a right-handed pitcher on the mound, you're going to see Conforto, I think, in spots. But then the question becomes, how does Kike get his at-bats? And you've already seen Kike, what he looks like when he gets consistent at-bats. And are you going to platoon Kike with Max Muncy? Or is he going to play third base? It's a possibility for sure.
Yeah,
but
especially with the Muncy injury.
The Muncy injury is a concern. There's no doubt about that. I'm sure that they're going to monitor how he looks early on in the postseason. If he's effective, if he's not, I think they might have a conversation. And there's certainly a spot for him there. But last year, the entire postseason changed when Miguel Rojas went out with the abductor groin injury. Edman went into short. Kike played center field. And then Kike played some first base with Freddie Freeman out. If no one gets injured, where are the Kike Hernandez at-bats? And the truth is, the dude's got his postseason OPS is identical to Giancarlo Stanton's regular season career OPS. And you don't leave a guy like that off the roster, off the field, when you can use him. So I do think there could be a world where we see Kike in left sometimes. We'll see what they do in center field. So I would say no to that. I will say, I don't even know if you watch any other Dodger podcasts. Me, I don't really. I do this all the time. I don't expect you to watch my show, right? Yeah. Even though, you watch it. But on my show, if Michael, we already have a bet. There's two bets. If we win the World Series, Blood Thinking on the team. If we win the World Series, I got to do the post-game show shirtless like Kersh. So shout out to my moobs, moobs show.
So doing some crunches.
If Conforto wins the NLCS or World Series MVP, 23 Conforto tattoo, and it's going to be live. And to make things worse, tramp stamp. 23 Conforto. So, yeah.
You're a long way removed from just shoeies and chugging beers, my friend, because that's some. Don't worry about that 23 tattoo, man. That's not gonna happen.
Don't worry about it. Okay.
Don't worry that one. That one's not going to happen.
Eddie Rosario creeps into my mind.
Yeah. I mean, listen. The status of Max Muncy and his injury, you can't hand Kike a role. I don't think Keektober works like that. The fact that he would need to kind of, injury forces him into the lineup, and then he says, no, you're not taking me out of this goddamn thing, which is what we saw last year. That's the only way I think that the fully blessed Keektober works. But then again, he was a starter for the 21 Red Sox and was the only good thing they had going. Hey, I mean, it feels to me like at this point in the season, we got some good problems to have for this organization. Granted, you would like one of the good problems to be not a couple of sub 200 hitters, but in Keektober we trust. And
since September 1st, he's been like the Dodgers' third best hitter. Conforto really has turned it around. You've seen some home runs, you've seen some better at bats, and
played the Giants a lot though, for what it's worth.
Yeah, no, he owns his former team, man.
7 games.
Yeah, he actually owns his former team.
Well, I guess, man, we've been talking for an hour and 5 minutes, and I know you've got a Saturday ahead of you, but I appreciate you coming on, joining me, man. It's always fun talking Doyer baseball with my guy, my buddy, my pal, the legendary DMAC _LA. We got $5 super chat from IB Stroken says, always good to see Clint and DMAC on the same channel at the same time. Yes, sir. Any parting words to say before I sign off?
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me. For the people that are watching this show that are big fans of my show, I just want to let you know my show would not exist if it weren't for this guy right here. I'm not joking when I say that. So always forever love this guy, and he's one of the best in the game. So definitely always great to talk Dodger baseball with this dude. Hopefully for our content, for our pockets, the Dodgers will not, as you used to say, screw the pooch, and they won't crap down their legs, and they will have a deep run. But vibe check wise, I like where the vibes are at right now. I'm being honest when I say that. I did not expect them to turn into what they have been for the last couple of weeks. But when I start seeing Anthony Bonda's tats, and I start seeing Kershaw's dad bod, and I start seeing the Kike smile, that's when I start to feel really good about where this team is. You got to play that wild card round. That one scares the crap out of me. And we're not going to dive into that, but that you get past that, and I feel really, really good about this team's chances to get back and win the World Series.
Yeah, because there aren't, like you said, there's no 100-win teams out there. Nobody, and you're seeing everybody stumble to the finish line in some way, shape, or form. Nobody really wants to go out there and win this. The Dodgers are still primed to ruin baseball and go back-to-back, and we are ready for it. But, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with us on this Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning into afternoon edition of All Dodgers. If you don't follow him already, give him a follow, DMAC _LA. Of course, you know him on my old channel, Dodgers Nation. Watch his content. He is live all the time, live and ready for tortas and whatever else you do these days. How about this? Dodgers win the World Series. I'm going to buy you a nice, juicy torta from a place of your choosing. There it is.
Juicier the better. Preferably from the left field pavilion.
People don't describe tortas as juicy. Big shout out to FanDuel for presenting the show. Thank you to Bleav Network Podcast for having us on your podcast network. Go check out all of those things. I'm Real FRG on the social media machine. Like the show. Subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for a different way to support the show, check out the Patreon. Patreon.com/RealFRG, or click the join button here on YouTube. Oh, give me that bobblehead. $5 a month to get you access to our Discord server where we're talking Dodger baseball all day long, all year long. And with the postseason here, feels like a good time to sign up and get it going. Are you looking for something? It feels like you're looking for something.
I don't know. I was looking for anything. I couldn't find anything.
Sorry, I'm holding you hostage. All right, guys. Hey, think blue, bleed blue, and we're out.